Hey, how are you guys? Tracy Newcomb with the Rhapsody Art Barn coming to you on a Thursday. It's been a while. Catching up. I'm doing this stuff. Just a second. I'm still organizing. Woo! Okay. Well, it's been a hot minute, so I just wanted to catch up with you guys. I have not been creating at all. I did the farmhouse show, which takes a lot of my time. I hope I have enough lights on in here. I mean, I have all my regular lights on, but it's been dark and moody outside. It's been fall, literally fall. The leaves are just flying everywhere. Tornado warnings, which for us is like maybe a funnel cloud-sized tornado will come around. It's like lots of wind, not really like a real tornado, but there was a few years ago a big tornado that took out like half a block in a town right adjacent to me in Turner, where I have the farmhouse show, and it wiped out a plumbing building. So I'm not saying they can't happen. I'm just saying it doesn't usually. Hey, Liz, we're here. We're back. We're doing all this stuff. And I have been taking this time, and I probably will continue this month, to take this time to reorganize my store. I'm putting out new stuff. I'm making it different. I'm getting rid of all the spiders. My gosh, they just take over my life here. And I have been not doing like a lot of the creating stuff. So I have been picking up stuff, like getting ready to do more. But right now it's been mostly just me working, cleaning, doing all the things, and then doing all my other stuff that I do for my real job. This takes way more time than my real job, but I do run the office of a plumbing business. So I don't have 100% of the time. Plus, and I'm now the clerk of our church because there wasn't one, and I've done that in the past. So it's not as much work for me because I know what to do. So I have been a little busy, just a little bit. Okay, so I hope it's light enough for you guys. Can you guys see my show? Yeah, let's talk about my show. Okay, so mind you, my little 800 square foot shop in here has a lot of product and not as much stuff for sale. I do a lot of the stuff, and then I take it to the farmhouse show to sell, and I set it up. I keep it in a separate area. Then I set it up to sell. Okay. It's a lot of work. And now with Haley talking about moving, she still hasn't. So I'm hoping, they haven't really gotten back to her on whether she's going to New York 100%. She's going somewhere. I don't know where, and I don't know when. They're going to have her open a store. I don't know where, when, or where. But if she's not helping me moving this entire shop over to Turner, which is only 10 minutes away, if that, probably isn't going to happen. I will probably have a sale here, still promote the farmhouse show, and then just set up my stuff in here. I mean, you guys can come visit me here. It's like on the way. I'm right off the freeway. The show is, you have to take that way to get there unless you're coming from some back alleyway. So I always do really well, because what I do is I sell product or I sell the stuff that I make. However, some years I sell more product and some years I sell more of the stuff I make. Well, typically product sells itself. So I always do pretty well in product. Everybody can get that on the website and everybody can come to my store. This time I sold tons of smalls. So I didn't quite do as well as I did the last time, which I didn't quite do as well as the time before. And then, you know what I mean? So I'm kind of thinking that I'm played out a little bit in this venue, because a lot of the people that come in now are my friends, my customer friends, who I love to see. And I see a lot of them, and I'm so grateful that every single one of you that come and visit me. It's so much fun. It's like a little reunion when I'm there. It's so cool. I get to hug after hug, and I get to say hi to everybody that I haven't seen in a while. But a lot of my customer friends do come into the store now, and they buy their stuff here. So me bringing it all over there, I don't know if it makes sense, but I do sell a lot of the stuff I make there. So I'm either going to have to start selling it in my store or do a booth. And I think a lot of you guys who do this stuff kind of struggle with that too. So, hey, Mickey, I know it's been a hot minute. I have been, and I'll show you my store. I'm a little scared too, but it's been like, I am rearranging and cleaning out and decluttering and spiderwebbing. And I mean decluttering, like, what have I been here? It'll be 6 years in November. Every November around Small Business Saturday and Black Friday, that's my anniversary. So I do a big, shop show here. And so I'm hoping to get everything done by then. But it really is just me in here doing it. So it does take me a while. Every once in a while, I get my son to come and help me. But his kids are taking a lot of his time. He's volunteering now in their classroom. And then Haley is not available anymore at all. She's gone all the time. So I really have to beg, borrow, or steal people. And my youngest daughter, bless her heart, I wish she would watch this so that I can call her out in front of people. She was supposed to help me organize underneath my shelf in here. One thing, just organize under the shelf. She had the last 3 days off work. She's never been back. She went shopping for the stuff to reorganize. She's never been back. So that's an 18-year-old for you, right? I'm sure you guys know. So I am, I'm going to be making more stuff for the store, but I'm probably, I'm going to have it set up more like a shop, where I can sell some of my booth stuff, kind of like people have antique malls, unless I go to another one of those. And I don't know, I have a store, right? I have a shop. Okay, so today I'm just playing around, you guys. I started this thinking I was going to get it done for the show, and I didn't. Had too many other things to do, which is fine. So this was a very old, so I'd have to cover the back. It was like velvet. Actually, it still has some of that crushed velvet on there. This had somebody's artwork on it, oil painting artwork. So you can feel underneath that it still has those flowers. It was like green, avocado green, orangey, yellow. Some of that was coming through. I don't care. So, like when I primed it with the white, some of it was coming through. I don't really care. So I don't know what I got on it. Like I said, my shop has been a mess. So I took a piece of beautiful rice paper. Now I got to think of who did this. Dang it. Might be a Reba Rose. I'm pretty sure it's a Reba Rose. And I can get different sizes. I usually just buy the A4, but if somebody wants something bigger, you guys can let me know. And this particular paper is rice paper. So it's not the recycled tissue paper, it's rice paper. And what I like about that over texture is it does show the texture. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but it almost made this piece look like it was an oil piece. And then of course we'll do the heavy body gel over it to make it look like it was an oil painting at the end. So it's more three-dimensional. Okay. So that is what I'm just going to be playing around with this while we talk. So if you guys have questions while I'm working, I'm kind of half doing this today because like I said, I haven't been in the creating mode. My paints and everything are everywhere. I'm rearranging so that I don't have tables down the middle for classes because I'm not focusing on that as much right now. So yeah, I'm trying to get you guys in frame. So you're not going to see Santa's head. So when I'm doing this, you can see this is still slick and this is like that rice paper feel. So what I thought I would do, I have this handmade rice paper, just you can use a scrap of paper or whatever, but see how much texture it has on it. It is actually rice paper. I sell it in the shop. It was just I think it's called handmade paper because it looks like somebody pressed it. It's got the fibers and the chunks of stuff in it. And I'm just going to add a little bit of this to the bottom because my frame does not cover the entire picture. So we're going to have to do some stuff around the edges. It's just not, I can't leave it like that. So even if I color the bottom, I want it to have, I don't want it to go from rice paper to nothing, right? I might end up just doing a border. I don't know. As I play with things and I like or don't like them, I may change my mind. So I don't get married to anything that I do, but it's kind of good for you to watch the process because sometimes it'll teach you guys techniques and stuff that I don't think about, but I just do automatically as I'm going. Because, you know, that's how your brain works, obviously, when you're creating. You're not like doing everything. You do it as you need it, right? You're not doing everything pre-planned. I try to pre-plan things, but I am terrible at that. I'm way better. I'm way better a teacher when I'm in the moment than if I try to like lay everything out. Every once in a while, the universe aligns and I can lay everything out and do an okay job. But most of the time, I'm just free flowing. Okay, so I think what I'll do is I'm just going to decoupage this down. I hope I brought a top coat sealer. I have decoupage varnishing glue. That'll work. I didn't bring my liquid patina over, but typically you can just use liquid patina. This stuff is a little heavier. It's a Pentart decoupage varnishing glue. It's great stuff. But, you know, any sealer would have worked fine too. So I don't have to make it perfect, but I do want to kind of cover that texture up. So that's what I'm doing here. And it'll give me a good base for 1, 2, 3. It'll give me a good base for the paint if I try to match this. Because it's not white. This is not white. Let's see, I should have probably grabbed the paintbrush before I did all that. Huh? There we go. Just a little artist brush. So, it's been crazy lately out here. Not just the weather. It gets dark super early. I was out here organizing and I wanted to go get some more bins because I've been putting everything in bins, like all my paints and stuff. I'm taking all my stuff for classes off the shelves. And I've been putting, I think I have it this way. I've been putting all my paints into, you know, the empty bottles and putting them into bins. So I've been robbing all my bins and I've been looking for the small bins. I like this size. And I used to get them at Costco. Got a lot of stuff in that one. That's for today's live. I've been finding them at Costco typically in like, I think a 6-pack. And then they have the bigger ones, which I have some of those on my shelves in the 3-packs. So I'm like, I'm going to run to Costco. And then of course I kept working and I didn't run to Costco in time. And it was 5:30 or 5:20 when I left. And I'm only about 15 minutes away, if that. So I'm like, I can make it there. I'm going to go the back way, which is like, you know, it's kind of dark here, like I said, and we've got windy roads on the back way. You can either go the freeway or the back way around the windy roads. And so I chose the windy roadway because I know it like back of my hand. I've been here, you know, I lived here for 40 years now. I've been here a while. And so I started driving that way and I don't even think about it anymore. And I'm flying because I wanted to get to Costco by 6 o'clock. They close. So I'm going fast, and all of a sudden, a goat, mind you, comes jumping across the road, and I'm going so fast, like I put on my brakes, and it's kind of getting dark, and I can't really see what it is, and I'm like, it's not as big as a deer, and deer aren't usually black and white, and it's bigger than a dog, and dogs don't usually jump, you know, like hop like that, you know. And I'm like, what the heck is it? And it registered. I'm like, it's a goat. I've never had a goat jump across the road. It went over to maybe it's home, I don't know, but somebody's yard. And that just scared the bejesus out of me. And then I was like, it jumped right in front of me. And then I was like just recovering from that. And I get up to the light where you take a right to go to Costco. And there's a car on its side, completely on its side in the middle of the road. And probably, I don't know, 4 emergency vehicle, 2 fire engines at least, and all these cops. So it must have just happened. So I couldn't take a right to go to Costco. So I'm calling my daughter. And then Haley, and then she proceeds to tell me how she just fell on the way into her work and skinned herself up. And then her coworker was ill in the bathroom, got sick all over the bathroom, had to let him go home. And then she got a call from her coworker, her other one, who was in a Tesla on I-5, and no other cars around, hydroplaned, went sideways and flipped. So all of her coworkers are out of commission. I'm like, what in the heck is in the water over here? Literally, it's the water. We have so much water in this area. I think I should put a little on the top too. I didn't bring that much paper. Maybe a little in a couple places. I don't really have that much room to cover up here, so just put a little bit. So I don't know. You guys still there? Listening to my crazy stories? Yeah, it was just, I don't know. It's been I think just the weather. We get so much rain. When we get rain, it's no joke. It dumps down on everything like all at once. It's like it's chance of rain today. It can be clear for hours, and then all of a sudden like puddles of water. Literally, I show you our parking lot is like puddles of water. So it's been kind of one of those weeks this week where everybody's dealing with something. So I'm just lucky to be on here. I went thrifting today, which I never do anymore because I have so much stuff and I redo so much stuff, but I was having fun with my mom and went down to Sweet Home, and I'm looking for a 3-drawer file cabinet for my shop because I put my rice paper in them. Do they come in 3s? I don't know. Does anybody know? Because all I saw were 4-drawer on Marketplace, which I don't really like to go to Marketplace. I swear nobody ever answers me back on Marketplace. It's like I'm like, my money is good. I don't know why they seem so hard to get a hold of. Or I know on my end, it's the same way when I try to sell something. Those people keep asking me questions and they just are gone. So I can't stand selling on Marketplace, but I do every once in a while. Haley's much better at that because she monitors her phone, and I just don't have time for that. But anyway, I'm looking for a 3-drawer file cabinet, and I haven't been down to Habitat yet. I thought I'd go down there first because, quite frankly, their stuff is cheaper down there. Maybe I can rob some of this down here. Oh, it's already sticking pretty good. I'm going to take a little bit of that one. I just have a little bit left to go up here. I don't really need to go all the way too far. But if you want to, because this stuff is pretty sticky when you're doing rice paper, the decoupage varnish and glue. If you want to water it down, you guys can, because it is water-based. So I know some of the varnishes are not, but this decoupage stuff is. So you can easily just put a little water on it and thin it out a little bit if it's too chunky. But I kind of am liking the way that brought a little texture to that empty spot down there. Now it's got rice paper down there, and I know it's not the same color, but when you're doing stuff like this and you're matching colors like just around the edges and stuff, see how the tone of the white is just, like stark white, but then this tone, it kind of brings that background of the paint that's already there. So if I miss a spot when I'm doing my painting, like when I'm doing my dabbing and stuff, I don't have to worry as much about that tone underneath being stark white, because there isn't any stark white to speak of in here. Maybe some of the snowflakes are a little whiter, but most of this tone is the darker undertone. So, color is funny because this doesn't match this at all. Like, it's two completely separate papers, but it looks like it matches way more than just the white paint behind it. So if you can start getting a base down that kind of matches that tone, to me, it's much easier to add some of the other color on top to make this look. And we don't have a lot to do, and it doesn't have to be exact. I wish that I had filmed myself doing that cardinal, because that was such a perfect example. I did sell that, by the way, at the show. I actually sold a lot of stuff that I I made. This time I sold a lot of smalls, so I did sell a lot of the stuff I made, which is always, it's always fun. I can't stand selling my own stuff in person though. Like, you know, you put your heart and soul into stuff, and even if you don't like it at the end, or, you know, somebody else, like I put this one up that I had done a live on. I'll have to see if I still have it because Facebook is getting rid of everything. So I'm going to be moving to YouTube. I still will do some Facebook stuff, but, oh, did you guys see my new little design? So my daughters are all July with me. So we all got the July, birth flower, the larkspur. Isn't that cute? I just got that last week. Anyway, I digress. So I brought this one painting I had done on a live, and I don't want anybody else to see my artwork that I don't think is what I would put in my home. Even though I think it's cool what I did, it's like, I don't want to show off my stuff. And so it's always nice when Haley sells everything, because then I'm like, oh, good. You know, if somebody asks me to go down on it or something, I always feel like, I don't know, uncomfortable, I guess is the only way I'm going to put it. But, so it's always nice when I sell things that, you know, I don't have to look at in the store another year. Hopefully that'll change as I pull more inventory in here. Okay, so this is Skeleton Key. I'm getting a gray blue going. Now look at the colors that are in here. As I'm doing this, I'll turn it this way so you guys can see the colors I'm matching. I'm going to do the most down here. There. And then I just kind of, I don't even try to match it. I just try to get kind of the same tones, right? There's the dark gray. It's like a gray blue, of course. And then there's a brighter, this is water lily. And now this is probably not the right color. I could add, if I had all my paints in front of me, I could add some old and, no, what am I saying? I could add some, the light gray. I don't know, I just blanked on the name of it. Probably have it over here so I can see. Let's see, Gravel Road. Ha ha ha! I have it right here. I could add a little to this and change the tone. Don't ever ask me what I do, because honestly, I don't even know. I kind of just go in and, you know, make it my own. And if I have to recreate it, I just have to do it over because I don't know. There's that beautiful light gray. I love that. And so if I put, oh, don't contaminate. If you contaminate these paints, they will stink. And this is a brand new container, so I'm not even going to do it. But here's a little bit of that gray. And then that mixed with the blue will get that lighter color. I've got some crinoline, which is that creamy white somewhere. Beadboard, that would work. Let me see if I have the beadboard handy right here, because this has got the bluish white, undertone gray blue. I don't know. Some people say gray, some people say blue. I see some blue. Ooh, I see some blue in it. It's just not a white. So you can kind of see how a little bit of that color palette, and then you could even in here do just that little touch. Oh, I might have plugged it now. Haven't used it, so now it's gonna get plugged up. You could even do a touch of this electrified, whatever it's called. It's the bright green. It's gonna splatter on me. Old Navy was having a sale, and I just ordered a whole bunch more of just plain sweaters and plain pants that don't have any paint on them. And I'm going to try very hard not to wear them to my, but these are paint clothes. I'm good. Try hard not to wear them to my lives. Okay, so this still has some of the decoupage glue. I don't care. So I'm going to kind of try to get like a little base going down a little bit. And I'm not even really, okay, so my paper is still a little wet, so it's not going to be perfect. I'm not even really going to like care about the overall swoop too much yet. It will get to the point where I'm going to go back in and do my swoops. But I'm not going to do no swoops either. Does that make sense? I'm not going to like leave it pouncy right now either. I'm going to add, okay, so the darker over here, can you guys see? Okay, Skeleton Key is the darker kind of gray blue. And then I'll add a little bit of the lighter blue in there because it's not a gray blue. I'm going to add the white because definitely that was too dark. Oh, I wish it wasn't bouncing so much. Sorry, guys. That I'm going to use the same motions I see in the background here. They're swirls. They're not pounces, and they're not plain, you know. So I'm kind of swishing my brush kind of like they do. And I'm adding. And now look, I'm going right up into their artwork, okay? Now their artwork is my artwork. Okay, so I don't care any longer what they've done, other than I don't want it to not match their other side of stuff. Does that, you know, I want it to kind of go together. But I don't care if it's exactly what they've done. I will make theirs what I'm doing. I'm adding mine to theirs, and we're going to blend it. So you're not even going to be able to tell what's theirs and what's mine. And then I'll go back in after I'm done just getting the first coat on the way I see it, kind of matches theirs. And I will make it lighter or darker depending on what I think the overall picture needs. So I see way more gray in theirs than I have. So I'm going to go back in with this beautiful gravel road and add that gray back in. Way more gray than I had. So I'm going to just go back in. And then I see a lot of this creamy white, and this white might not be the right white. It might be too stark, which it looks kind of whiter than theirs. I'll still add it. I'm still going to add some because I want to lighten some of this stuff up. And my paintbrush is nice and muddy, so it's got that nice grayed white, you know, I'm not making it stark anymore. It's kind of graying it out by having this dirty paintbrush. Okay, see that? Can you see up close? Now, where does it start and where does it end, right? And then I'm going to come back in and do what they did, kind of, and add some darker stuff in a layer. I'm kind of just creating more of the scene that they did, and there is no wrong or right. Okay, this is your preference at this point. Like, where should it be dark? I don't know. That's up to you. You know, like what looks good, what feels good. That's up to you. And then I like this blue. I'm going to add a little bit just in places. I don't want it to be completely stark, darker light. And then I'm even going to come back in like they did. See this little splotch of green? Here's a little splotch of green. I'm light touch, light touch. Very little paint. Very light touch. Adding a little bit of that green. Maybe I really like the green. I'll bring it back up into theirs. And voila. That is him walking on the snow. Okay, if you see a line that you don't think should be there, like it's too liney from my paint to theirs, don't put any more paint on your brush. Just wipe all the paint off into their picture. Okay, take off a little bit of that line. Okay, not exactly the same, but yeah, you love it so far. Thanks, Liz. Okay, do you see? He's walking on the snow, right? Yeah, no big deal. You just brought it all down. You can do the same at the top. Of course, we're going to be using a whole different palette for that. So the top is going to be, looks like black velvet, which isn't the blackest black. Let's see what I brought because I have too much stuff in my face. Too much stuff in my face. So here's an old school, which is a very dusty gray. It might be too dusty, but I do have that. Then I have black velvet, should have it, which is an off black. It's not the blackest black. And of course, you know, this paint dries lighter. And even if you put on the top coat after, oh, darn. Well, here, let me get something because it's dripping and I'll just drip a little bit on here. Might as well just use it. It's all over my face now, all over my hand now. Oh, this brush is probably too stiff. I don't like that. Nope, that's not gonna be my brush. I really like the brush I was using. I might rinse it out, but once it gets really wet, it's hard to, yeah, this one will work. It's just smaller. Okay, so I've got black. Looks like there might be some blue in the background, maybe a little bit of that dark brown. Where is some dark brown? Maybe a little bit of this. This is called layered chocolate. If I have any dry, I mean wet, look at the whole top is dry. I'll see if I have any dry underneath any, I'm sorry, wet underneath the dry. You can still even bring it back to life. I know it looks yucky. I always put my jars, my cans into containers. I just have not taken the time to do it. That's really bad, but honestly, it's the truth. So this stuff, even gooey, you can paint with it, which is kind of fun for texture, but it's very easy to bring back to life. Okay, I'm going to get rid of some of these because they're actually in my face. And then I am going to open up the crinoline because I do think the crinoline is more the color. It's the very antique-y, yellowy tone. I barely see it throughout here. I don't even know if I see it up here at all, but I'll just put a touch of this, just a touch in case I need it. And it also is my base for lightening other stuff. If the black is too dark or the brown is too dark, then I'll have a little bit of this light color to play with. Okay. And I'll go ahead and grab in your way. I'll go ahead and grab, I didn't have a navy handy, so I have some old paint. I think I'm going to use, I love a good navy, and there's a good one in the cottage colors. This is old paint. This is old paint, but once you get the top off, it should be fine. And I will just put a dab of this. This is a navy color. So those are kind of the tones I'm seeing. Do you see those tones in here? I'll show it to you in just a second. Let me get a, now that my hand is completely covered, I gotta get a baby wipe. I was doing pretty good. Then these dark colors took over. Take some of them off. Okay. Might as well clean up while I'm here. While I have it. I'll clean up. Okay. Here is the color palette. Black velvet, layered chocolate, a little bit of navy, and that one is crinoline and off-white. Okay, I think that's good. Okay, so then I'm using the smaller brush, and we're going to start with the black velvet, maybe lighten it up just a tad bit and add in, oh, I actually started with the navy and add in the navy. So those three colors are what I'm going to play with just until I see what I have, because these are dark. So I really don't want to go a little crazy at first, you know. I'm bringing a little bit more of the brown into where it transitions, because the black and the navy are a little more severe. I'm still adding that white in there a little bit to lighten it up. And yeah, I think we're getting there. I think we're getting there. That navy with the black velvet, the off black, adding a little bit of that brown coming back in the transition. That is pretty. Okay, getting there. We're getting there. Now remember, it dries lighter and it will go darker. So I can always go back in and add it darker. I do not like to do that until I look at it, because once you go dark, it's really hard to lighten it up. Yeah. Okay. Now imagine you're not looking at the edges, you know, you're just looking at the tone. Look at the tone from here to here. Don't look at the work. Just look at the tone at this point, because you're not doing, the edges are going to be covered, right? We're going to have a frame. But look at that. Isn't that pretty? That's the same tone, that and that. And then you're just going to follow that all along the edge, do the exact same thing all along the edge. A little teeny bit of white, a little teeny bit of brown, and the black and the navy. And if I cover up some of this scroll, I'm not going to worry about that. Okay? Do not, I have my baby wipe. I can go back in and wipe back a little, but I'm not going to change what I'm doing because of that scroll. I'm going to either paint something to kind of look like it, which that's probably what I'll do. Cover it up with a stamp, cover it up with a mold, you know, like, don't worry about it. Don't like, at this point, we're just getting the paint on. Don't worry about the embellishments yet. I'm a little too dark on that one. Okay, how's that? But I'm not trying to cover that embellishment either. I mean, I am going to cover some of it, but I'm going lighter around it, but I'm not going to worry about if I go too far. I'm going to let it disappear a little. That's fine with me. Okay. And if it starts looking too different, because the texture is different, I'm going to add some down in my picture again, avoiding those little scrolls. I'm going to just go down into my picture and change the look of it too. Okay, we haven't finished, so just know that things are going to be a hot mess until they're done. That's what I keep telling myself for my shop. I'm like, it's got a long ways to go of mess before it gets to be done, and when it's done, it'll be great. I'm always pleased with, you know, how things turn out in the end, but sometimes you got to go through the crud to get to the good. So you have to just wait and let things play out one step at a time. My mom always says, and I've taken that to heart now, is do what you know first. I love that. So if I know that I want something to be in the corner of my store, then I do that first. And then I go to the next thing that I know. And then eventually it's all done because I've done the things that I know, and the ideas kind of come to me as I go. Same with this. Do what you know. You're going to have to go around the edges of all this stuff first. So we're going to do that first. And then you come back and worry about the details. Okay, that's looking pretty good to me. It is a different tone texture, but I can, I'm going to be putting heavy body gel on the whole thing. Like I said, don't worry about the end. Okay, what do you think about the tone? Tone's pretty good. Okay, now I'm going to go through, do a little bit of the sides. I'm using all three colors. And I'm twizzling my brush because I don't want it all to be the same. I don't want the brown to be in one area, the blue to be in another area, and the black to be in another area, and the white, you know, I'm kind of doing the whole thing. Twizzling it, adding. Okay, now we've got his little face here. You can go in and do his little face. I'm not going to go in and do his little face. I'm going to let him fade out, and I'm just going to add more brown to this area. Okay? And then if I wanted to come back in and do some detail work, I can. But I'm going to see where that frame lands. So where he is, I'm adding more brown. And then where he stops, I'm wisping in a little bit of this white. So it's kind of looks like he's like running. You know what I mean? Like you can't see where the end of him is and the beginning of the side is. I'm not here to like paint a reindeer, although I probably could match a little. I'm pretty good at copying, but if you just kind of blur it in, now look back. If it looks weird to you, start adding stuff, but you see what I'm saying? Like you don't have to. It's going to be a frame along here at some point, right? I don't know exactly where, but probably about here. It's going to be frame, and I don't think anybody's even going to notice. So it's a feeling too. It's a whooshing of the snow, right? It's not like making his little eyes perfect. It's not about that. This painting, it's flowy and fun. That's what we're doing. It looks like it was supposed to be watercolor oil paint, and that's what we're doing. So I'm going to do the same over here. There's no reindeer to worry about on this side. So even better, I'm just going to use the blue and the black and a little bit of that white. Kind of bring it in. Pat it all the way down. There's where he's brown. I got to add a little bit of that brown in. Bring it in a little bit. And where's my brown? I'm out of brown. Let's see if I have enough to even do his little behind there. That's enough. That's enough. I don't need, yeah, I'm good. And then they've started this blue again, and I threw away my palette, didn't I? Dang it. I should have saved that palette to go down the edge. Let's see, what should I do? I should add just a little bit of, looks like it's darker, so maybe some skeleton key. I got this crinoline here. And what was I using? More of the gravel road. Was it in a can? Yeah, it was. See, I can't even remember 5 minutes ago. Okay, so I can't use the same brush. Don't go in there with black. Just grab a different brush. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Believe me, I know, because I do it. I'm that person. Oh, I have it out. I'll just use it. Then I'm like, oh, why did I do that? I'm just going to touch it to the crinoline. You guys can probably not see me. I'm touching it to the skeleton key. I'm touching it to the Olden Gray, and I'm touching it to the crinoline, and I'm making kind of a little, it's not, see, look at how different it is without the paper behind it. Isn't that crazy? It's crazy. I got to go in with a darker touch over here. And then it's just not going to look the same without that paper. I want you to see that difference. How much different that little, just that little rice paper on the edges. It makes it so different when you're painting it. Look, it looks see-through. It doesn't have the same texture. Yeah, use your paper. Paper's good. If you have any rice paper, use your scraps. It doesn't even matter what color. You know, just stick to the kind of scheme, like I said, the kind of color scheme. But I'm going to have to dry this and do another coat because it needs to have a little more texture. And I might even have to add a little texture medium, which I have. I have some Posh Chalk. What do I have? A little salt wash. There's so many different kinds of texture mediums, you guys. You can use salt wash, or Posh Chalk has a texture medium, and Pentart has a texture medium, and probably some of your brands of paint have it. I even have like a, which I could probably use too, a dirt Dixie, it's not Dixie dirt, it's DIY dust, decrepit dust. I could probably use that too. I'm just adding a little texture here. A little teeny bit of salt wash in my paint so that it doesn't look like there's an edge. Lots of different ways to do things, huh? You don't have to always just do one way. And then I'm just going to go back in and lighten that up all the way in. Don't go over his leg too much. But I'm going to probably have to let it dry and play with it a little more. That's my least favorite area because I didn't put that stuff down, and I will add a little lightening and blend it in a little more. But for now, at least I got a little bit of color down. I don't know what I'm going to do with that frame. So I actually did that color on the frame with the Amy Howard effect. And although I like the effect, I don't love it for the frame, for what I'm doing. So I think I'm going to have to either, well, what do you guys want to see me try? I guess I could try both and see what they look like. Do you want to see a gold foil, or just should I try the, maybe I'll try the DIY gold paint patina golden ticket over it first, and then add the gold foil if it doesn't cover it. Have you guys done gold foil? Anybody like the gold foil? Because I could do that. I have it. Okay, I'm going darker down here. Then I'm going to start bringing in some of this light. I'm adding this salt wash texture medium. And I'm going to go even lighter in this area where it's lighter. Okay, I'm going to bring it into the middle, and I don't hate that. I don't hate that. It's okay. I kind of at least brought it up to the same level. I gotta do some more over here because I'm not loving this part over here. I don't know, it just didn't. I think my paper bunched up, got wet and kind of bunched up, so I need to build up a layer here so you can't see that line. Add a little bit of light in here and add the lightest light in places. Okay. We're kind of taking away his little foot, but that's okay. Let's see if I can bring this little foot back a little bit. Just using water. My tongue. That's terrible, you guys. What was I thinking? Okay, there we go. I think that's pretty good. What do you guys think? Smash me some hearts if you think that it's good. Do I need to change any of the tones that we did on the base? Not too bad there, huh? Does it look like it could have been the picture? I think so. I think so. Okay, now, the only thing I didn't do that I can do is grab a little more of my lighter white. Which one was that? The beadboard, I think. That's the one I used. And I'm gonna get rid of this palette. I know I might regret that. I might be pulling out more paint. But it was pretty bad. It was pretty done. Okay, so this is the part where you put a little bit of oh, not that much. Holy cow. When it rains, it pours. Did you know what that meant? I didn't know what that meant. So if any of you are my age, 55 or older, you might have heard the slogan, when it rains, it pours. That was the old Morton Salt slogan. And what I found out was it meant that if the salt container got wet, if it rains, then the salt will still pour out. So if it rains, it pours, it still pours out. I didn't know that. I thought that was kind of interesting. I don't know where I heard that. I heard that recently. Okay, now we're just gonna get a little bit of this paint. I'm gonna mix it in to a little bit of water and get it nice and liquidy. And you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna get our little fan brush going so we can create some of that snow. And oh, I'm creating snow on myself. Dang it. Okay, I'm gonna back up. You can't. There we go. There we go. I think I just wasn't pushing hard enough. Okay. Creating a little more snow so that we match the picture. Okay, pretty good. Okay, I'm done. Let me see if I like all the snow. See if I didn't hurt their face or get too much in one area, because you can always dab if you don't like it. Make it a little theirs was kind of blurry, not dots, so you can do that with the baby wipe. Yeah. Okay, I'm liking it. It kind of looks all cohesive. Get rid of all this. And the last thing we're gonna do on this guy is take the heavy body gel and make it look like it's an oil painting all over it. Okay, that'll be a sealer. But right now I have paper and layers of paint and stuff, so I have to kind of wait for that because it'll just goo all up. If the heavy body gel is like Vaseline, like, you know, it's thicker, so it would lift the paper if it's wet at all. So I think I'm just going to wait on it. I don't even think it needs more at the top. I mean, I could go in with a little bit of gold and do like a swirly swirl at the top, but the gold that I have is so much brighter than this gold. I think it would take away from it rather than add to it. Yeah, it does tie it all together, doesn't it? Yeah. The snow does tie it all together, just like if you're painting something and you whitewash the whole thing and that ties it all together. This ties it all together, or you're waxing or whatever. Okay, I'm going to set that guy to the side, let him dry. He really is wet because he's got paper. I did that on top of paper. Paper takes longer to dry than regular paint or a board or something. So I'm going to let it kind of dry inside a little bit. Okay, so that is as easy as that. Now we're going to figure out what I need to do on this frame. Okay, so what I've already done is I did a layer of the, gosh, I don't even know the color names. They're Amy Howard colors. I don't remember what the blue is called. I could probably find out if you guys really want to know. And then the top color is the linen, I know that. And in between is the cracked gesso. And you can see you paint it on like a crackle and it crackles the, oh, I'm losing my hair like crazy. It crackles the paint, and then you can just touch it and it pulls back the first layer. It's kind of cool. I actually really like the effect, but I'm not really thinking that this is for the Santa Claus. So what I'll probably do, kind of looks springy, doesn't it? What I'll probably do is try first to add, I just want to add some of this gold and see how I like that. And if I do like it, great. But if I don't, I did bring my gilding. don't know what is going on with my hair. It is, I need to put it up. It is shedding. I'm shedding like, I don't know if it's the time of year or something I eat, not eating, something I'm doing. I don't know. Kind of a creature of habit. I kind of eat the same stuff over and over again. So maybe I'm not eating enough XYZ. Okay. For this, it doesn't really matter what brush you use. I'm going to get one that goes into the crevices. This is the Golden Ticket. It's a very antique-y, lightweight, shimmery gold. So it's going to antique it and it's going to add that gold shimmer when you put it into the light. So I kind of think it's going to look cool, but I don't know if it's going to cover the blue enough. So let's see what you guys think. But it is going to bring out those cracks, which I like too. So I want to do it either way. Yeah, I think that's going to be the look, you guys. What do you think? I could add some more gold. Let's do this all over it. We'll see how it looks. And I could add pieces of gold. If you want to see gold leafing, we can work on that. I got this. Oh my gosh, you guys. I went shopping like I said. I got this mirror. And it is older. It's an antique. I don't know, older. You know, I'm an antique now, so whatever that means. But I got this mirror at the Super Thrift. I think that's what it's called. On the way home today. Yesterday? I don't know. My days are running together. Isn't that pretty? It's not light either. It's not super heavy, like you can't lift it, but it's not very big either. I thought that was super pretty, and I could do a little gold leafing on that. Would look kind of cool. I don't know. I kind of like the way it looks, but it does have a lot of scratches. It's older. $5.99. $5.99. It was hanging on the wall, and I saw it on the way out, and I'd already paid, and I went back in, pulled it off the wall, looked at the back, and I'm like, sold. I got a couple things I wanted to share with you, but I left one of them at home. Pretty cool. I love when you do that, right? Love. Okay. I'm going to need quite a bit of this, but I don't want it running off my table, so I'm going to do it a little at a time. Okay, so this is a top coat sealer. So this would be my top coat if I just want to leave it like this, which I'm kind of liking that gold. So I'm going to leave it pooling up in areas so that there's more gold in places. But it's also because it's that patina that like the Dark and Decrepit is. It just has the gold in it. It will settle into the cracks of the patina that I have created with the cracked gesso. And it will bring out the cracks. Can you see the cracks that are coming out now? And so I'm liking that. And I'm liking the tone. We'll see how it looks with Santa, but I think I'm liking it a lot more than I thought I would. And I do think that it'll be a good choice for an upgrade of this blue that's in here. It'll tone down the blue. You'll still see a difference in color, but I don't think it's going to be as. And I'm putting a hefty amount in those little crevices so that it looks like it used to be gold, like up here in areas, and then it's kind of white back. But you have to watch your brush strokes with this stuff. DIY paint, and I don't think this is either, is not self-leveling. So I always use a soft brush. These are the DIY brushes. And I watch my strokes. I don't let them dry wacky. You know what I mean? Like I want them to, I do a top coat swoosh so that you don't see a swirl or a gouge or, you know, I do a little top coat swoosh, light-handed. And so now we've just taken an old frame that somebody had painted a picture in, and it was not a picture that I think anybody would have on their walls anymore, although maybe they will, because I can't believe the kinds of things my son is putting on his walls now. He loves those needle points. Cracks me up. Things that there's no way, you know, we would have liked when I was his age. But, you know, that cottage core or whatever you want to call it, they like some stuff. So maybe they would like the avocado green background with the orange and great yellow flowers. But I think that the Santa is going to be more what I will sell. So that's what I changed it to. And this will be a super fun. You can still see some of the blue, but it's really toned it down. Really toned it. The blue was just way too bright for this piece. So this is going to be really pretty. And okay, so you can see the difference. Well, there's no blue hardly, but there's that blue. And then now the chunks of blue, you can't even really, they're not going to be like that anymore. You can still see that there were chunks. See in the outer part of the frame, but they're not like that blue anymore. That's going to be good. And of course you could have used the Dark and Decrepit or the Old and Gray. So if you like the gray tone or the brown tone, I wanted a gold. It's Christmas. I don't know. I like gold. I've always liked gold. I like glitter. I like gold. And that's another thing that we could do to our little picture is pop a little bit of glitter in there. I got some Eco Glitter from Pentart. There's a coarse and a fine, a gold and a silver. And you can just zhuzh up Santa's hat. You could add a little bit to the snow. You know, I mean, that's another thing you can do to make them more festive and Christmassy. Even the antique stuff now, I'll see it has a little bit of glitter here and there. I love that. I love like old meets bright glittery stuff. I think that's super fun. Okay, there's getting rid of some of that blue. I think it did a pretty good job. Of course, I put around all the outside, but at least you get an idea of what it looks like. I will go around the outside, I promise. I will not leave it alone like that, but I really want to show you when I heat it up just how fun that crackle is. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but, and I can do layers if I want more golden places too. I want to show you just how fun that crackle that I created with the Amy Howard that you can create with crackle or the cracked gesso. Can you see all that crack? There we go, into focus. Look at the cracks. And that gold patina just brings that out and settles into those cracks. Super cute, super fun. And it dries pretty fast, so as I'm doing my layers here, you don't have to wait forever to add more if you want it darker in places, like I just did. Okay, let's see Santa. Where's our Santa? You like the gold with the blue? Oh yeah, that's true. Okay, it does look like the patina. That's not what I planned that all along. That's what I'm gonna say. That's my story. I think I'm doing this upside down, but it doesn't really matter for now. I just want to show you it done. Maybe not. Can't really tell. It's such a nice new frame. Not. I do have one of those tools. Maybe I can get it in. Hold on. I do have one of those tools that creates. They're super fun. I should show you at some point. They're one of those that like creates the little alligator clamps that go down. I don't know what they're called, but this frame has nails, and that's why I'm having a hard time getting it in under the nails. So if you have a frame that doesn't have the little clips or anything to hold it in, look at how beautiful that back is. That will be papered. It creates these little holders that hold the backing in place. Oh my gosh, you guys. I love it. Look at the tone with that gold. That is so cool. Beautiful. Now, can you see the little reindeers all naked on the side? I don't think so. It looks pretty good. So look at all your little spots. Does it look bad up at the top? You could put a jewel there or something. You could make it really fun. You don't have to, but you can. I could put a little jewel up there, and I could add some glitter to his snow or his beard or whatever. You could bejewel it, or you could leave it just like it is. It's just a design. And then, okay, let's see. I think it's pretty dry. I don't want to ruin it, but I do want to do that heavy body gel. Do I have some over here? I think I do. I think I do. I have some in stock. I have the Pentart, and I might even have some of the old kind that I'm going to be using, but you know, whichever works. But I now carry the Pentart in my store. So you can use the soft or heavy, but the heavy's going to give you more texture. Heavy's going to give you more texture. That's a 3D. Uh-oh. Do I have the heavy? Let me check. Yeah, I do. I got these new silicone. I don't even know where I put them now. Good golly. Look at my... Oh my gosh, my shop is crazy. You guys, it's going to look beautiful though. I promise I'll get it all done and you guys are going to be like, oh, perfect. Okay, well, I bought these little tools for resin. But for now, I'll just use this. They look kind of like this too. This thing works good. It's just a rubber spatula from Amazon. Or you can use the ones from IOD. Even better. I'm just going to use what I have in front of my face because I'm not going to go looking for anything right now. As long as it's dry, we are going to start putting this sticky, thick, gooey all over. You're going to be like, what the heck? You're going to see the lines. That's fine. And you can actually use a brush and see brush strokes, which is cool. I'm going to put it on in a crisscrossy motion. I'm obviously not going to do anything else now that I'm sealing it, but that's okay. And this will also seal the DIY paint because it has to be sealed, as you know. So I didn't put a sealer on. I'm just going to put this over the top. I don't know if that's right or wrong, but that's what I'm doing because this is a sealer. I mean, I'm going to say it's fine. I'm going to make an executive decision, and if I find that something happens and it peels, I'll let you know, but I don't think it will. Because this is a kind of the heavy body gel you can use as a decor glue. If you're adding a bead to the top or something, this will actually add a glue base to embed heavy objects, buttons, you know, metal, whatever. You can do that with the heavy body gel. And a brush is just fine with this. It'll give it more texture. The brushes, you'll be able to see the brush strokes. It's kind of cool. So, and it's water-based, so you don't have to worry about that. So let's see if I can get, here's just it's not a stiff brush, but it's also not completely soft like my DIY paint brushes. So you could just get a good glob of this here. And this will kind of bring more of a brush stroke look. And then it looks more like it's an oil painting versus just a piece of paper. And I do these a lot over, like I'll just frame art, just little pieces of art. I have some similar, but nowhere I can show you right now because it's from the show and it's still in a box somewhere. I'm not putting out my littles until I get my bigs figured out, and that's where my shop is. It's such a mess. But I actually, what I do is I'll just take a frame, you know, even a small like picture frame, like a regular picture frame, you know, with the backs, and put a black backing or make a cute backing and put a little transfer on it. You know, you've seen just little cute transfers, and then put this stuff over it, and it does end up looking more like a piece of art than a transfer. It just brings that and I know it looks like I'm using a lot, but I'm not. It just brings a little bit of that oil painting look to it. I'm kind of smearing it. It's not coming onto my brush very well, so I'm trying to grab more of it. And you just smear it out, and it's already drying, like sticky like a glue. I probably should have top coated my DIY just because I can see that this stuff isn't saturating like a top coat would. So some of my paint is not changing back to the darker color, but I'm not mad at that for this because this particular piece has so many tones of color in it. It doesn't have to all be dark black or dark blue or whatever the color is. But I do want to make sure that it is sealed. So if it wasn't a picture, I would probably for sure seal it first, especially if it wasn't a picture and you know, it could get wet. You want to put that sealer on the DIY because it's not sealed until it's top coated. But for this, it should be fine. Okay. Again, back in water. You don't need to do anything special with that. That's the extent of cleaning my brush, which I love. Make sure you seal all that stuff well because it will dry out if you don't seal it well. And some people even put on tops of all of their jars, they put saran wrap and it helps it stay. Now do you see? It doesn't look like a piece of paper anymore at all, does it? It already had a lot of texture, but now it really looks like texture. Okay. I think we've lost everyone. Got one person watching, so I think it's time to go. 5:15. Yep, I've been on for over an hour. So I think we're good. I'm just going to set it like this so you guys can see the whole entire thing. I'll probably cut some of this out and stick it onto YouTube so you don't have to listen to all my stuff. But how cute is he? I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful week. We'll see where I am next week as far as getting everything done. I am back in town. Come see me. I'm at the store, but just know it's not going to be completely decorated and nice until I have time to sit and do it. Okay, I'm so glad I got to touch base with all you guys. I missed you, and I will see you soon. Happy creating. Bye. Oh, I can't reach the